Hello, everyone. Mike Massaro here. Proud to be joined by one of the Co-Wiki Driver Development Program finalists, Carson Haislip. And Carson, it's great to meet you. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Never really been better. It feels like hard work's finally paying off, and just super excited and grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, I can understand the hard work. I mean, we talk about what you've accomplished. For those folks out there who aren't aware, Carson is the Wake County Speedway late model champion. 11 victories last year, man. What a season.
Yeah, no, it was a great season, and we worked so hard for it. It's not easy to just show up to the racetrack and win 11 races. Everything has to be meticulously maintained and make sure everything's perfect each week. And I feel like we did a great job, out of our whole year, just staying consistent and keeping our car up front the whole time.
So what's remarkable to me, not just the fact that you won 11 of the 17 races, which is incredible in itself, you did that while you were a high school senior. Is that
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, since my junior year, I actually started my first business on my own, and I went online school. I just was fully trying to pursue the entrepreneur mindset of everything. So I started my own lawn care business and did really well with that. And I actually sold out, and now I am still in high school. I'm doing sales and helping out a lighting and exterior washing company.
That's interesting you say that. I remember I had a lawn service one time back when I was living in Connecticut, and the gentleman who did it was also a race car driver at the Stafford Motor Speedway. So
Oh yeah.
it seems like a proven path, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
obviously driving the lawnmower a lot different than driving that late model. So
Oh yeah.
how would you describe your style?
My style, as in the race car.
No,
Or
not
like,
lawns. No, yes, driving the car, of course.
well, I mean, my style is really just kind of how I've been raised throughout the racing with mentors like Dylan Spain and Alex Fleming, just racing hard, doing it the right way, racing and making sure that you're not getting a bad name for yourself. I feel like, going to the racetrack and being able to win without touching a car, that is a great day. And I feel like every racer dreams of that. But sometimes you're going to have, adversity at the racetrack, or you're going to have to overcome. And I feel like that's something I've learned over the years is just how to overcome stuff that doesn't go your way. And I feel like it's truly helped my career a lot.
Tell me about that. Do you have an example of something that maybe didn't go your way and you had to overcome it?
Exactly. So, championship night, actually, when I was racing legend cars, this is a big one for me. And, I think I qualified on the pole. It's championship night, so tensions are high, and there was 25 legend cars in the field that night, and going to turn one and just get absolutely spun out. So here we get to the back from lap one, and the 25 laps, we were able to go from 25th to fourth under green. And, that ultimately sealed our championship up. If I not been able to come from the back and keep fighting, stuff always doesn't go your way, and you can't just give up and pull in the pits. You got to keep going. And that's what we did. We never gave up. And in the end, I feel like 25th to fourth and 25
Yeah.
laps at a quarter-mile track is pretty impressive. And I guess that just goes to show, how good my was in the back end and support behind me.
That's perseverance. There's no question about it. And you're absolutely right. You need to turn those days that maybe not victories into the best they possibly can and into in terms of, generating the points and winning those championships. And obviously you know how to do that. Winning 11 races, well, that's not too bad either. So
No, no,
congratulations on
sir.
that.
Thank
Obviously
you.
it gives you some momentum heading into this season, I would think.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's this is my year. We've been talking about that all last year. This next year, 2026, that's going to be a breakout year, and we're working really hard and trying to find the right sponsors and get the right funding and the right backing and just everybody helping around me, just all in line. And this is, I was talking to my dad earlier. This is the one year that I feel like this is our time to shine, and I got to make every opportunity out of it and just keep doing what I'm doing.
What's your team look like for this year?
So my team, we have three crew guys. My dad, Donnie, and Alex Fleming. They're going to be helping on the car, and obviously me as well. So not as big of a late model team as you see nowadays, where you see 10 guys showing up and everyone has a role. We kind of all work hard and work together, and we're all in like five places at once. Is most of the time what it feels like. So. It just goes to show it's a small team mentality. You got to have the team chemistry, and I feel like that's something we really do have. We can cut up and we can have fun and be serious all at the same time. So that's something I really enjoy in my team, and I feel like that's something that's really going to help us out this year.
And you step up into the cars tour, is that right?
Correct. So we're going to run cars tour races. We can't run the whole thing, but we're going to try and do as much as we can. I'm going to try and venture out to other tracks this year besides Wake County Speedway, which you still see me at Wake County Speedway, but I want to venture out, get my name in other places, and see where we really stack up with at every track. We can't just. I feel like going to one track and kind of just staying there. If you can go other places and compete and run well, I feel like it makes your name look better and doing it the right way.
Changing subjects a little bit, one thing that really stood out to me, and I don't know exactly why, maybe because I'm old, I don't know, but you're one of two finalists from the state of North Carolina, and I'll tell you why that stands out to me. When I first began my career, the majority of drivers in the Cup Series, at least, were from the Carolinas, right? And somewhere along the lines, that became a little bit different. Drivers started coming from all over the country, it became more homogenous, right? So to
Mhm.
see a driver from North Carolina, I know that that's getting back to the sport's roots, really. What does it mean to you to represent the state of North Carolina?
No, it's absolutely insane to me, and I was speechless this morning when I saw the phone call come in, and I was just so speechless. And he answered, and it really lit up my day, made my weekend. Just super blessed and super grateful for the opportunity. Not only are we representing Alec Kowicki and his legacy in the program, but North Carolina, like you just said, it goes to show where the roots are, and I feel like North Carolina in racing nowadays is so much bigger than it used to be. I feel like even just like you just said, there's people from all around that are getting you know people from up north, down south, everywhere. Racing is it's getting saturated, and I feel like the talent and I guess the talent of the drivers around here in North Carolina is slim to none. You're racing against some really stout guys, and I feel like it's starting to venture out. So
Yeah,
just representing my state. This is where I grew up, and that's what I always continue to do.
yeah, the grassroots of the sport still could be centralized in North Carolina or the Carolinas, I should say, South Carolina, even, the Southeast in general, for sure. But
Mhm.
as you mentioned, drivers come from all over the place. Your heroes, though, who are your heroes?
Definitely, I'd have to start with Dylan Spain. He took me under his wing when I started Legend Car Racing, and really he transferred me from the Bandolero to the Legend Car. And first year was a little rough. It's just like any year you start out in a new car, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to be the best you can be, and he coached me to the point where we were really, really good. And by year two, really, we were rock solid. I think I won 19 races, and then
Hmm.
the next year we won 26 races out of 34 starts, and the national championship, a winter nationals championship, Wake County championship, and he just helped me through it all. He sacrificed a lot for me. In my summertime, when I could have been, I guess, at home playing iRacing or playing video games, he was there to help me and teach me everything he knew, trying to get me more involved and just instead of just driving a race car, he wanted me to figure out the shop work. And he taught me a lot about legend cars and bandoleros and just the ins and outs of everything. And he really shaped me into the racer I am nowadays just because of how much he did sacrifice for me. There's many people that have helped me in my racing, life and my career, but Dylan Spain is definitely one of the top ones. And I was just texting him the other or earlier today and just telling him, I appreciate. He texted me, congrats, and I said, man, I appreciate it, and I wouldn't be here now without you, and that's just how much I guess I appreciate him. He treats me like a little brother, so really appreciate it for him, and he's definitely one of my bigger heroes for racing.
Yeah, you gotta acknowledge those mentors. We all need them, right? And we all have them. That's the way
100%.
we get that next step up. So it's just you're just curious. I mean, you're a young guy, but I'm sure you've been watching racing since you were a very little boy. Uh, Historically speaking, if there was one race car in the history of NASCAR racing, whether it's the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet or the DuPont Chevrolet or maybe uh, the Bill Elliott's Thunderbird, or of course, Alan Kulwicki's car, right? The Underbird, if you will, right? If there was one race car in the history of the sport that you had the opportunity to drive tomorrow, what would it be?
Um, my favorite color, I was actually talking about this earlier. My favorite color is the blue, the petty blue. I
Mm.
love that car, and I love the way that he raced. That was definitely be a cool one for me, just because I know my late model kind of matches his colors. Super cool to me, and he's a super down to earth guy. He's so cool. He's a little laid back, and something super cool about Richard Petty.
See, I knew there was full circle North Carolina there, right? Randleman, Raleigh, you're all in the same North Carolina family. I knew there would be some connection
Oh
there.
yeah.
So as we wrap this up, Carson, how do you look at this year and you look at your future path?
100%. I look at it, the way of growing, just like I do every year, growing and maturing and becoming the best version of myself that I can, on and off the track, helping other people, helping other little drivers that are going to be the next generation of our sport. It's something that sticks out to me is helping everybody else. And just because, like I was just telling you, I had people helping me, all the way along the way. And I want to have that, for other drivers as well that are new to this sport, still trying to learn it. But, throughout this year, I see a lot of success. I see a lot of hard work and a lot of long nights and hopefully a lot of wins. Main thing I want to focus on is just getting my name out there in the right way, my social media, the name for myself, the way I talk, just everything I want to improve on. I was talking to my boss earlier today, and we were talking about, all right, well, this wealthiest man, there's always something he can get better at. So there's always something we can always get better at, and I want to, figure out a lot of things that I can get better at this year.
Well, Carson Haislip, obviously a driver with a very bright future. We are so thrilled to have you with us here today and be part of this Co-Wiki driver development program and be a finalist. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.